14th. It is 9:17 in the morning. We have a couple on watch, nothing too crazy. Let's take a look at the top gainers. We have DLMP. It only has 100 shares of volume, so it's really not in play. A lot of people are going to be looking at Tahoe. Tahoe is $3.17, gapping up 44%. This is an acquisition, so it's not really something that I want to play. It's not moving up on fundamental news for traders. So next down on the list, which is really the only thing that we have to watch today for small caps, LMFA. LMFA, good news. Has a gap to fill up towards this $2.80 and $3 mark. This is where I have my alert set, but ideally this is really the only stock that's going to be on the watch list for me today. I'll look at the scanners, but besides that, let's see here. 1 second. Okay, so as it's trading above 2, looks good. Has a super low float, so be careful with this one, guys. It is up 23%. It has a 480 share float, 480,000 share float. It's already done a float rotation today, so it's traded 540,000 shares of volume. So with that kind of volume and that low of a float, definitely be careful. I'd love to see the bulls be able to push it as high as this $2.80 to $3 mark, and then the short starts to come in. That would be a really comfortable move for the bulls, and then a nice solid level of overhead resistance for the bears to just get in. Everybody's happy. So I have an alert here, not necessarily an alert to take a position. I don't have a stop order to short, but as it gets up towards this level, this is where I'm definitely interested in starting to watch it. So let me actually drag this down to like the 270 area, just beneath these bottoms. And then I also have an alert at 4 in case it breaks through and I don't trade it today, and then it gets up towards this other breakout area at 4. Because over 4 you're at 450, and then 5, and you're kind of parabolic off of that move. So keep in mind this came up from just about nothing not too long ago. We're on the downside of the move, so I'm definitely short biased. I'd love for it to come up here, like I said, and fail. One thing to notice is that recent gap ups, what has it been doing? And if you guys have any stocks and tickers that you want to share, please go ahead and share them in the chat. A little bit more than just a ticker symbol, unless you want me to analyze it, but we really need like what I'm presenting to you. We have LMFA, ideal short entry is around 3, stop over 3. If it gets over 3, you can look to re-enter. Depending on the price action at 350 if it stalls, or 4. It's in a channel right now in between about $2 and $3. What do you mean all the stocks? What are so LMFA is going to be on the list for small caps. We have Goose. This is more for large caps for you guys. So I haven't really looked into it too much. You can look at the losers for the day, but I'm just going to keep this LMFA on watch, and then I'm gonna take a look at the scanners and see what everybody else is trading. There's really not much else in play, so If you guys have anything that I can look at, let me know. There's CHK. They have a price target raised. PCG. He said it's going down a lot. Okay, so let's take a look at PCG. Personally, I don't like playing the losers, even though it's a good, good strategy. So I'll set an alert here for 25. If it gets down there and it wants to continue lower. So at or below 25. We'll see here. Recently on the daily, let me get this a little bigger for you guys. This day had a high of 35. So I would look to short at that point, right around there, just to watch it. A little bit higher of a float. A little bit higher price stock. So also has resistance at 30. So just to map out the recent resistance. Lost lots of its value because of all the California forest fires. So yeah, that's good to note that it's come all the way down. Definitely down. Okay, last time it was down here. Yeah, I don't really like trading the ETFs. Let's see, daily. Let's go the max available for the day. And see where can this bottom? Where has it been? Down, where are we trading? We're in like 27. Okay, that's as far as we can go back. So it hasn't really been this low before. Year, 1 day. Okay, that's what I thought. So where can we see a bottom? We're all the way down here. Down 30. Trading around 27. So last time it dropped here. You could look for it to gain some traction around 26 for a dip buy. Yeah, about 26. And this is way back. Way back. This is in 2005. It was at this price. So yeah, usually when you don't have too many stocks on watch, there's not too much on the scanners. I would totally look to see what the number one stock's doing. Tahoe, not really tradable. LMFA is really the only play for small caps, so a lot of people are going to be watching that one. I'm really excited to watch that and see what happens. I'm not really taking a bias until it gets to one of my entries, but I'm going to set an alert also at this 20, all the way down at 26 for this PCG. I would dip buy PCG at 26. It hasn't been this low. It just erased 14 years of gains because of the fire. So number one on watch, LMFA. Alright guys, so about 3 minutes to the bell. Not really looking to jump in anything. Possibly under $2 to one of my levels here. I just don't trust super low float stocks like this. But, you know, take a deep breath. Think about it. Did you sleep well? Did you eat well? Are you coming in with a plan? Do you have a couple stocks that you have on watch? And, you know, are you like mentally stable, or are you not? So other than that, you know, just watch the market, let the market come to you. Don't force any trades. I am going to have one no trade day per week. So this might be the day to take a no trade day. Because it really sucks to sit out on a Friday. I added into VKTX later in the day. I was doing some computer work and I saw it spiking up, and I was obviously short biased on it. You see I got back in at 12:20. I got in on this little tip here, and I have an alert here for 12:20. So I didn't really look at it too much. I was doing pretty good on it, and this morning it's kind of curling back up on me, but not too worried about that one. Okay, so LMFA, really only looking at it towards this $3 mark. Other than that, I'm going to sit on my hands. So I'll be here in the chat. I'll be listening to the scanners, listening to the other chats, listening to you guys. There goes the bell.
17 spot. I'll take a starter on LMFA. I'm long LMFA right now.
This is Ross from Warrior Trading.
And trying to scalp this move here. That's kind of a weird open, but I got filled 9,000 shares at 217, and boom, that's $900 of profit. I'm still holding 900 shares with a stop at 17. Sold them, $1,062 of profit. I wasn't expecting it to go all the way to 40, but that's a gap and go trade. So for a second, I was like, my order, I clicked the buy button 3 times, and I didn't see anything happen, and then boom, I had 9,000 shares. And
so if it holds up here, it can really run for the day. You know, Ross got in, he scalped it, he already dumped his shares. He's going to look to get back in, probably over this 2 around your entry. He says he's done for the day, but I mean, this thing definitely has potential.
Out at 225 and 230. High today is 240. I don't know that I really thought LMFA would give us that type of move. I didn't expect it.
Nice.
And when I punched the buy order twice at 3,000 shares, I didn't see myself get
bids
filled,
come
so I
in
punched
here.
it one more time at 220.
But it's red on the tape.
And then I filled all 3 orders. So I had a little bit of a lag out of the gates.
So for me personally, I'm not really going to take this. Maybe under 2, I would take a starter. It's starting to definitely look weak and dump. So we'll see if this gets under 2 quickly. If not, I'm just going to get out and wait for that $3 mark. So I feel like I'm chasing a little bit, chasing the weakness. And it could just be setting up here for a run. So in at 210. It's just a starter size, so nothing too crazy. It's not gonna make or break me, even if it does go to $3. I'm not going to hold this all the way to $3. I'd like to see more red on the tape, and I'd like to see it break this level. A little impatient. I'm glad you made 30 bucks, dude. You know, I guess a little bit late on the execution, but you paid for the confirmation. Being able to get out at 240 was awesome, especially, I'm not sure what platform you're using, but high of day was 244. So there's a really big bid coming in. So I'm out for now. Didn't really get the breakdown that I was looking for. I'm not going to give up on the stock. I'd love to see it get higher. Other than that, not too much going on here. VKTX, I might just cut that too. Still looking heavy to me. I'm going to try this again. Okay, so I'm in half size, and it's not flushing. Come on. Come on. Alright, I'm taking just a little bit back off. I was expecting a quick flush, so I'm only holding a quarter size. Might add it back on under 2. Average is 204. Really looking for it to get heavy here. 203. 204. Need to see some more green. Kind of getting impatient with this ad. I'm holding 3/4 size, almost full size here. Tahoe's an acquisition, so I wasn't really watching that. I saw it. It's a 311 million share float, and it's traded. It was 1.5 million pre-market volume. So again, taking off some risk here. GBR is up and spiking. More flush. So I have a 203 average. Really like to see it stack up on 2 and turn this into a wall. It's not. I'm in full size here. Man, this thing is just not falling like I want it to. It is just chopping me out. They're trying to hold it up. Under 2 is nice. Really nice. We need someone to just smack this if possible. Or just, stack the ass. So here we go. We're starting to get some movement to the downside. Come on. Get some legs. So really just looking for gravity to work in our favor. Also chart history. Gap up and fail. It broke pre-market highs. Didn't continue. Isn't holding. Jeez. Or is it holding? I'm gonna take some risk off. There's a nice seller on level 2. Another big seller. So they're trying to walk it down now. So now with those guys, I feel a little bit more comfortable. Just gonna try to be patient. GBR spiked up and failed. Almost double touched where it touched last Wednesday at this time. So about 10 minutes into the trading day. Big sellers or big buyers coming in. I'm going to take off a little bit more risk. This trade is just not going where I want it to, so I'm not going to force it. VKTX is up. I'm probably going to cut that. Oh no, whoops. So VKTX here. Close that out at 12. Back on LMFA. Really not moving at all. Let's see.
See the days that it popped up, it did these kind of reversals with the topping tail candle. The high is 260 with, again, no news. I'm not sure. But, like LMFA, even though it has no news, I mean, it could end up making a little bit of a move. The daily chart isn't as good because it's below the 9 moving average. It doesn't have any big. I mean, yes, it has a window from 287 up to 396 right here. However, it's being blocked by a moving average that's coming down. So that's not ideal.
So there are going to be people who believe in AMRN fundamentally as a company that are going to be looking to add to their position, or they're in long here and they're going to look to dip buy. So this was a pretty good candle yesterday. You'd want to see it maybe test this low here of about 15 and then continue higher from there if it can turn that into a new bottom. So I'd imagine it would at least go down and test this 1480 area where it did in pre-market. You see yesterday's low, touched it again, kind of bottomed out around here. Got a little bit of momentum, but yeah, like you said, it's coming down hard. Yesterday's close is right here at 1540, 1538. So it's definitely a dip buy opportunity, but this thing has been overextended. I've been waiting on this. I have an alert set down here around 13 to buy. So if it gets down there, I would definitely buy. They already said it was a buy. It's down. This is going to be the 7th straight day down, and it picked up yesterday. So we want to see this form some sort of support. We want to see some bids come in if you want to go long. If you want to go short, you could short it and say, you know, it could potentially go to back to 10 where it started. RMED. $3.6 million share float. Up about 12%. Up on earnings. Continuation. It's a relatively new company, it looks. So with IPOs, technical analysis is really the ideal way to trade them. And it's usually a little easier to trade. So I'm going to set an alert. It has a lot of resistance at 10. And they're still losing. Yeah, I'd be short bias RMAD, but not really an ideal setup. I probably shouldn't have even taken this LMFA trade, and if I took it, I should have been up here in the weakness holding. Pretty sure this is going to be a grinder. If it turned on short sale restriction from this 240 back down to 2, you're not really going to see it collapse unless we get a big panic out due to a level like $2 not being able to be taken. You know, if they keep trying to take this out and they just can't buy up all the sellers, somebody's going to give up and just pull the rug, and then it'll just start getting momentum to the downside. People will start selling because there's obviously a lot of short sellers who are eating up any of these shares, any of these buyers that are coming in.
Yeah, I do see a headline on it, ANY. So the high day is 20. We watch it around that level. NNA. So keep ANY on watch for a second. High day is now 230.
All right, so I'm adding to this
catalyst, that's
LMFA.
Better than some of the others, but
full
I
size.
want to wait for that little pullback.
Looks like it'll be a slow stock today.
Yeah, if I was in something like Dare, I would try to sell on the ask. I would try to kind of unwind the position without hitting the bid. And then A, you can see this one's getting close to being halted on the downside. It could be worth watching, you know, for a move back up. But it needs to kind of hold this level and that sort of 750 level and it's just broke it, but it's not halted yet, so.
So I ended up covering VKTX at 12. It's now at 1160. That kind of.
ANY.
That'll get to you. 40 cents. It's a $100 difference.
Yeah, GBR has that doji candle on the 5-minute chart.
Probably gonna call it a day after this one. Not seeing the
thing
market.
with the halts is that they are different for different stocks, depending on the price, which exchange they're on. I mean, there's kind of a number of different things that seem to vary with where the stock will get halted. So the high day on ANY is 30. So this one I would watch potentially over 225. So I'll take my starter right there on ANY. So I jumped in at 225. And now I want to see it break. Okay, so there we go. So I put an order on the ask at 38 and I sell half. So $349 locked up. That's a 1-minute micro pullback on ANY. So now I'm still holding. Stop is break even. Watch it for a second. I was right over, a little over 40. Look at that. So sold the rest at 43 for right now. I can always get back in, but when you see that 26,000 share buyer, that bid, you know that people notice that. So right. Now high a day is
so we had a candle close underneath this $2 level.
I'd watch it over 55 with smaller size. So I'm trying to watch where I can get in. It does look like it's possibly going to halt, but I need to get a little bit of a pullback to add back. So the high is 75. I can see the halt
nice, man.
potential on this one, and with a catalyst. So I'll take a starter right
More
here.
Than I'm making today. $10 on RSLS.
So I'm in at 71, and I'm willing to add going into a halt. It looks like it's going to halt here at 87. I have an order to buy at 87. It hasn't filled yet. Looks like it's about to get halted.
So I like how the spread's starting to
filled on that second order.
Get larger.
I'm still holding from 2.7.
If I'm short, I like seeing that.
You know, this is kind of that thing where the high of this candle was 275, right? So it dipped down here. We saw it dip down, and then as it curled back up, I jumped in at 70. So it's like a very small little pullback that pops up. It pulls back for a second, knowing that it has the potential to get halted.
So since sellers here, if it has with short sale restriction, they can't just keep hitting the bid and drive the price down. All they can do here is put up size. And you'll see, you know, they're already down to 96. And this might get bought up, but then there's going to be another wall at 2. And what they do, they just keep walking it down and walking it down. And like I said, the buyers get exhausted and get out. So hopefully that happens. What I don't want to see happen, I really don't want to see it trap a bunch of people and then squeeze.
It'd be nice if I could get back my 6,000 shares from 227.
Yeah, RSLS. Let's see.
$450 of profit on the first trade, and then I got back in.
I mean, at 940 it was done.
The thing is, look at GBR. I mean, given ANY has news, but look at GBR. I mean, this
at 940. I mean, this.
And then came all the way back down. You know, so you have to kind of
This day it went all the way to 1020, which is the first day. So I'd expect it to
be aggressive on and
hopefully just be done here.
Take the profit on. ANY was not easy the last couple days it popped up, so my trust.
Oh man, VKTX is just killing me.
But now it's opening up. I've already got.
It's down 70 cents from where I covered. I should have added to my position instead of cutting it. I should have put more risk on. It didn't even get to my break even. That was the trade of the day.
So the halt was at 87. Alright, so now I'm gonna put an order at $3. I expect it will open a little higher. That's what typically happens on these types of halts.
At least LMFA is working in my direction here.
Open maybe around 95 or 97. If it opens around 95.
Watching GBR too. Right now it's a 5-minute pattern, 5-minute breakout, and VKTX is really just, that's so gross. So gross. It's gonna hit $11. That was a $250 mistake. It could have been 500 if I added. What am I doing here? RSLS. Super choppy, super sideways. Downtrending, reverse split stock. It's a garbage company. The only way that this thing's going up is if they pump it. They're probably going to try to give it news after things settle, because people see that it has news. They know it has a super low float. They'll just try to get in and go from there. So over 220, there's definitely potential to the upside. So you can create alerts for that. Or just, if it starts squeezing and going parabolic again. AMRN's getting smashed. Good fundamental company. It was just so overextended. It hit this 1480 mark, so it is trying to turn this into support. This one that we drew earlier based on yesterday's low. So we'll see it maybe channel in between here and hopefully gain some support. You don't want to see it just bounce and lower bounce and lower bounce and then fall through. It needs to stay over here because there's really not much holding it up besides this big daily resistance. Between here and 10, there's nothing in its favor. So set an alert, see what happens. LMFA, you think it's going to drop down and then pop by the end of the day. Okay, let's drop down to pop. How far do you think it's going to drop down? Because I'm holding 1,000 shares right now, up $60, $70. Nothing crazy. It's on a slowed downtrend. I don't want to see it pivot. It looks like it might be pivoting here based on these highs, maybe. But trying to be real patient. The gap to close is at 1273. So if I can get down closer to 180, it would be great. I think I'm going to take a little risk off here, and I can always add it back in if it comes back up towards my entry. So I'm still holding the core, but having this number be green is a little nicer than red. Unrealized 78. I mean, I definitely think it can go down. I don't think it's going to get above 2. It's known to just spike up and drop. You know, it opened here at 6, went to 8, closed at 4. Opened here at 4, went to 7, closed at 350. So today we opened at 2, went to 250. Probably gonna close maybe around here. Who knows? Gonna pop in chat with Connor in Discord, see what he's up to, see if he's working on anything, if he's in any trades. Laura says good morning. Danny says no watch list either. Pretty quiet day. Yeah, this trade didn't even need to be taken. I'm just going to be covering commissions if I cover the whole position right now, which is a lot better than having it go against me. I covered at 89, so I could add back here. I'd look to add in at 2 and 10 cents.
Yeah, if it opens above 3 and just surges, I'm in the driver's seat. You know, that's the nice thing with when stocks open really high. You know, at this point, I've already pretty much hit my daily goal. So,
Hey, you there? Hey. What are you looking at today? So you're down 27%, about $1.60. You're coming up to test the open of 442. I mean, it has support right now at 4. Let me see. It's just down because of earnings. RSLS just triggered an alert for a potential Yeah, I'd rather catch it. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking to get that one short around 3. Can you hear me better now or no? 1 second. Alright, so A N Y making moves, running into this $4 resistance. It's previously topped at 430 and about 575. Yeah, I'm just being chopped up by LMFA. Um, really? Hello? Hello? Is it any better now or is it chopping? It's definitely constantly green when I'm looking at it. Yeah, A-N-Y. It's on a 1 minute bull flag pullback after a halt of A-N-Y. Well, you probably, yeah, so on the bull flag, if you're playing the 1 minute pattern, you want to wait for the 1 minute candle to make a new high. And then technically on the 1 minute, it's downtrending because the candle that you bought in just made a new low. So, I mean, what's your average? Okay. So this is the breakout candle on the 1 minute chart. Over 335, you want to see it get volume. If it doesn't get any volume, you might look to downsize your risk. So here, yeah, Are you short MRS now off this VWAP fade? You're short at 431? That was a good entry. Well, then you shouldn't have taken it. You're looking at MTSI for some momentum up. It got a good volume candle. It's holding this. It's above the 200.
No, well, GBR is selling off right now. Yes, it's a 5-minute pattern, but it's selling off. ANY, this is the one that I'm watching right now. So that was the first 5-minute candle making new high right there over 360. I just sort of missed it.
So ANY is now on a 5-minute breakout pattern. First 5-minute candle over 360 to make a new high.
So high today, as we know, is 95. Curling up.
Slowly grinding here.
Back, curling up, pull back. Let's see if it gets that kind of added momentum and does a break of 4. At this point, with 3 million shares of volume, you might be starting to get a little too crowded to break 4, but you never know. Keep it on watch.
So as a short seller, you could look to size in here with the risk of 4. Seeing that this was a 5-minute pattern, it's now an ugly pattern. Excuse me. So if this doesn't break, I would think they would give up. $360s, seeing $350s.
Usually I would say over something like 75, we start having a pretty good chance of hitting $4. But because this is already tapped 4, I'm not sure. It might need a little more time to pull back.
I'm going to chase a little bit of the weakness here at 350. Ross is still watching it. Chasing it. Motherfucker.
So I'd say tempting over 69 here, but it's got a decent range, down to 45. But this sort of little consolidation is definitely interesting.
So Ross is looking along it. That looks. It's catching bids here. There we go.
45 on the bid.
Come on, get down. Oof, that was a bad ad.
Sometimes on these stocks, when I'm feeling confident and I have a big cushion, I will just sort of buy some of these pullbacks if I really, really think it is almost definitely going to go higher. But the 5-minute is a little extended. So there's 75, there's 85, flash to 87. See, that's how fast it can happen.
79.
So our new high of this little pop was 90. I'd put an order
80.
at 90 for a possible scalp.
85.
I'll take a starter here. So I'll take a starter of 2,000 shares. I'm anticipating a break now. See how we get that big squeeze. That's sort of what I was expecting. Okay. So I sold half at 414 or 413.
Where's this thing want to go?
It's the breakthrough high of day. So still holding 490
filled me
shares.
At 91. Are you kidding?
With a stop at 93. High of day is 415. Over 415, I would consider adding again. Watch here. I'll add right now 415. Try to scalp that move higher. So I added at 415. Next target 420, 425.
That's not good. $425.
There's 425, so that was the first target. So made back the $1,000 I lost on this trade. Back up to 7,500 on the day.
Average 84.
New high is right in the 20s, but this wasn't the perfect first 5-minute candle to make a new high, I wouldn't say. Stop will be 90, 390.
Come on. 382. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Stopped out of the rest of it for right now. So puts me up $7,368 on the day. So high day is 25.
Chance for me to get out.
Breaking over 25 would have been important.
With less risk here.
25, 75, 50. These kind of psychological levels can be significant in this price range.
That was a horrible trade. 384. I hope it drops to nothing. Not good. Taking off some risk here. All right. Could hold through a loser. Let's try to hold through a winner. Dude, my palms are sweaty. My heart's beating. Oh, what a bad trade.
Green is good. Any one of you guys that's green.
Green's not good. Green is not good if you're not following the rules.
425.
Not good if you're breaking rules. There we go, 66.
So I think the question now is probably if we're going to see another stock make a, make a move.
So is this thing done? We're gonna get halted on the way down. One, 350s.
Yossi, good job.
67s. 68.
Yeah, Ryan. Sure, Trader will restrict buying power on these volatile stocks. They've always done that. But usually, what I found when I was trading there with my small account is that in the first kind of move, I'd be able to trade it before they restricted the buying power. And then, once you're kind of in this area and they're aware of it or whatever, that's when they cut back the buying power. I don't know that CMEG does cut buying power for traders, but they've been much better for almost all of our students, especially because they don't take away your shares. Like if you were in this, let's say you were in this with 10,000 shares at SureTrader. What they've done and what we've seen them do is they'll break the trade. They'll just take your shares away and they're gone. And what would have been an instant $2,000-$3,000 winner is gone. And you don't need that. It's hard enough to be a successful trader without fighting against your broker. So, that to me is just outrageous. That never happened to me when I was there, but it started happening. I don't know when it started, maybe like a year ago or something. Or maybe 6 months ago, I started hearing people talk about that, and that is unacceptable. So yeah, they're in the Bahamas, and if they want to do it, they do it, and it's a platform that works for a lot of people, but that doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for this strategy of trading small cap stocks. It doesn't work when you're trying to capitalize on a halt. So yeah, just something to consider for you guys trading there. ANY, right now we're going to be probably just watching the second 5-minute pullback. We'll see what it does. Could it give us another opportunity? It could, but we're getting closer to 5 million shares of volume. It's going to start to be more of a tug of war, I think.
Wow.
Trade Zero is fine. We've worked with them. They have a broker rebate program. They're solid. They only accept international traders, but if you're international, they're great. Been really happy with Trade Zero. But most of you guys are U.S. traders, so can't trade there. Lightspeed or Sterling is so I can use this Lightspeed platform for free. The Sterling platform is an extra $100 a month, so it's more expensive. If you're with CMEG, you can choose to use Sterling, or you can choose to use Dash Trader, and I prefer Sterling over Dash Trader. If you're with Interactive Brokers, you can choose to use Sterling instead of the Interactive Brokers platform, and I like that better. If you're with Lightspeed and you want to just use their default platform, that's fine too. The only thing that you're not able to do is
my ads weren't ideal
levels.
for sure. Especially I was adding into 4 into the weakness. I should have been adding.
See them, but they're not. Can't color them
after the red candle, at least.
Well, actually, someone said you can.
It was a really bad trade. This is probably one of the trades to learn from, because if this kept going in the wrong direction, that's how you blow up your account. That's exactly what you do. I wasn't patient enough. If I could have just waited for the initial entry around 4, I would have been really comfy around this 425 area, especially as it started to lose momentum up here. definitely something to analyze. But you know, being green on a trade that you shouldn't even have had is probably the worst thing you could do, because it reinforces bad habits. That's how you blow up your account. So I've sized down so small that it's not really worth anything. Coming up on 10:30. It might have been a decent trade, but I sized in more than my strategy tells me to. So I was taking in too large of a size initially. Whereas my feeler position, I should have just taken the small size and kind of let it pan out with the idea of adding at high of day. And then I would have had at least half size here. And then as it confirmed the breakdown, I could have doubled and had a full position for this move.
So, anyways, I've used Lightspeed for like several years. Been really happy with it.
I'd rather have a red day where I follow all my rules than have a green day where I break my rules.
Using the CMEG and to build a white label.
You know, there's when you record your trades, there's four. You can rank them 1 through 4. 1, you follow your rules and you're green. That's obviously the ideal trade. You can't always have 1 trades, but that's just how it is. Number 2, you lost money, but you follow your rules. That is the second trade. If you average all your trades out, you want it in between a 1 and a 2. Number 3, you break your rules and you lost. That's okay. It's not okay, but you lose. But number 4 ultimately is the worst. You break your rules and you win money, because that's saying it's okay to break your rules. Yeah, I mean, the stock market is just a complete emotional game. It just really toys with your emotion. Now, I mean, I could add back in here, but you know, I got out of this trade really luckily. Really lucky. So I'm probably going to be shutting it down. I took too many tickets also. Something to note for my rules. Too many tickets, sized in too quickly, too heavily. But was still able to manage my way out. And part of the reason too is I didn't have this unrealized profit shown. You know, at one point I was down at over 400. I had a 360 average and it was up over 4. So if I was looking at this P&L, I wouldn't have been watching the trade at all, and I probably would have just panicked out and just lost my cool. So by not having this shown, it really helps you just watch the trades. Basically, I was taking ANY short. At 10.12. So I started getting in here as this formed what I thought was a lower high here. And then I added at 14 and 15. So as it came up here, I was adding as it was continuing a downtrend. So I thought I was adding to my position, and I was trying to guess the top, which isn't good. I should have just let that run with my initial risk being over the high a day. With this is only the add point. I shouldn't be adding to my position down here in case it ran back up against me, and it did. And it It squeezed me out. It didn't really get that much resolution, and on the 5 minute, it really wasn't that great of a chart pattern. It was a broken 1 minute. It was a broken 5 minute. So with those kind of patterns, you don't normally see as much resolution because traders aren't sure what's going on. And then we just had $4 psychological resistance hold. So as it was topping out here, I ended up adding at $4. This was already after it went to 425, and I was bag holding. Ideally, I would have added here, but I couldn't put on any more risk. I was already at full risk. So the only way that I was able to put on risk is as it was coming back down through this $4 mark, which would have been great to pick this top, but you know, it gave me a 384 average, which sucked because I was in this area, this 360 area I was adding, and 370. So yeah, not a good trade. What I'm gonna do here, I'm not gonna babysit this. What position are we looking at? A and Y. I'm not gonna babysit the position. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set a stop over 407 to buy, and other than that, I'm just gonna swing it short based off of let's see, over 3. Yeah, I don't know about that. Green to red. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. So I'll put a buy stop. Well, I'm probably just gonna call it there. I don't want to add into this, I don't think. Set an alert up here in case it does get this high. LMFA still closing up 10 cents on this, up 70. It should be 75. Yeah, 70 ish with the spreads. Yeah, Chris, I agree. Like, just take it. Just get out. Got lucky already. It's definitely finding some support around this 3 where it had this gap up. Most of the volume is going to be leaving here. It might have room for one more push before lunch. But the fact that the last breakout didn't really work. I guess it worked, but it didn't go parabolic. I think ANY, you know, being under the VWAP, trending down. Yeah. Just take it. Take it, take it, take it. So LMFA still working. Haven't touched this trade since I covered some at 938. $938 Should have been adding there instead of covering. So you see here we're definitely in like a downtrend. Ish. Maybe something like that. So yeah, this one looks like it's good to take too. Yeah, Chris, you're totally right. I mean, just get a peace of mind. But then you have these other ones that come and haunt you. Like this really wants to see, I think 173. It wants to close the gap. That's what people are holding out for. That's what I'm holding out for. About this 173 area. So set an alert for that. I should probably be paying myself on the way into these dips. But exactly what I did with VKTX could have been a huge winner today. Could have, would have, should have. So there it just tapped this 173 and got bought, which is interesting. I'm gonna, that's kind of crazy. So I'm in at 98, about 20 cents here. There's the alert. Somebody had an order to cover their shares there. Let's see. That was break even for the day. Yesterday's close. 75. Still some red. 76. So I'm going to be taking off. I'm just going to bail out of everything. All the positions and call it a day there. So that'll be a wrap. Bad day. Bad day of trading. That was really bad. VKTX now at 1080. I covered at 12. Covered at 12. Why did I cover at 12? I covered at 12 because I was afraid to go red. This was a perfect ad off of that psychological resistance. That was an ad. I should have put risk on at that point. Ugh. Alright guys, yeah, we'll be here tomorrow. Either Thursday or Friday for me is going to be a no trade day. So for those days I could definitely watch you with your trades or see whatever you're trading, just kind of watch the market. But one of my rules for now, as you can see, I tend to overtrade. 29 tickets is more than I would like. So yeah, just trying to stick by my rules, and you know, if I can't stick by my rules, then I guess I don't really deserve to be trading, because I'll lose a lot of money that way. Alright guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.